Static comes in my ears, truth feels blurry. Headlines scream like wolves in a flurry. Who's the liar? Who's the thief? Who's the saint in disguise? Tell me, Tyler, are you dodging the knives? Left, right, both wrong. Truth's been gone too long. Tyler today, cut through the haze. Truth ain't a weapon, it's a light, it's a blaze. Tyler today, won't let it decay. Dodging the shadows, truth finds its way. Ink drips, red facts bleed on a paper. Voices crack, truths lost in the vapor. Fingers point at phantoms in the room. Tell me, Tyler, do we stand or assume? Tyler, the day, cut through the haze. Truth ain't a weapon, it's a light, it's a blaze. Tyler, the day, won't let it decay. Dodging the shadows, truth finds its way. Tempo shifts, heartbeats stutter, lies crack like glass, they mutter. Hands on the clock, ticking slow, ticking fast. Tyler, don't let the truth be the past. Tyler, the day, cut through the haze. Truth ain't a weapon, it's a light, it's a blaze. Tyler, the day, won't let it decay. Dodging the shadows, truth finds its way.
What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. I hope that song hyped you up for the news today. I've been working really hard trying to find news for you guys. There's like nothing being reported today. At least I thought, right? There's nothing on the front pages of anywhere. You really got to dig deep for some of this news. And that's what I've been doing the past 2 days. I mean, I didn't do a show yesterday because the news I had yesterday wasn't enough for a full show. I was like, all right, I'll save it for tomorrow. And now here we are tomorrow. And again, there just wasn't a whole lot of news. So I scraped everywhere I could to find news. And I gotta say, after I've done this now for 9 months, where I go through the news every morning and have to look for stuff to talk about every day. And I've got to say, the best aggregator of news that I've found so far when I'm going through all of these sites, it's obviously not going to be CNN, not Fox News, The Hill, The Guardian, not the Post Millennial, not the Bee. Like, all these sites, pretty garbage, usually. The Guardian, like, they all have, their breaking news every now and again. But I've got to say, shout out to the New York Post. The New York Post, I seem to be getting a lot of my articles from there nowadays because they have good reporting, and they're reporting on stuff that other people aren't reporting on. So that's my little spiel. I'll be joined by Joey here in a little bit whenever he decides to get set up, I suppose. But I wanted to clarify one thing for you guys because it seems like there's been a few people that have been confused by this, and this is also an opportunity for me to, shout it out anyway. So let me switch this over here, and I don't have the right window pulled up. One moment. I'm supposed to have. Where is it? One? Yeah. Okay. Supposed to have this up. So I've noticed that a few people have started following my other account. So when I started making all of my stuff, I made a Tyler Today News X account. Guys, this is not my actual account. I have it just so no one takes the name. Everyone should go follow my actual account. I use my full name, Tyler Rittenauer. Go follow Tyler Today News at Tyler Rittenauer. That's my actual official account. I don't have a ton of followers over there. If you guys want to go drop me a follow, usually I just share the show, or I, point out people being retarded, or share things that I find interesting, just whatever. But one of the easiest ways to get in contact with me, if you don't have me on Discord, is going to be X. So go follow me over on X. Pretty easy to get a hold of over there. But anyway, I wanted to shout that out because, you guys should go follow me on X. Go follow me on X. Anyway, we can actually start getting into the news stuff. Though I am waiting for Joey, so I'm wondering if I should wait for Joey. There really wasn't a ton of news today, guys, like in all honesty. Let's go through, what did I title today? The video today. The title of today's video is Ex Space Force Sergeant gets sentenced, the illegal trucker update, and an officer self-deported, and more. So yeah, I mean, that's those are the stories that I found to be the most important today. If there was something that I missed, guys, please send it to me. You could also join the Discord. I have my Discord. It should pop up in the chat at some point. But you guys should join my Discord so you can send news articles to the Discord. So then maybe I'll talk about it on the show. It just depends because I have friends and you know who you are. I'll ask for news stories and then they'll send me something and it's like, okay, you read the title and that's it. I can't talk about it for I can talk about anything for 5 minutes. But I don't want to have a full show of just a bunch of stories where I'm like forcing myself to talk about it for more than 5 minutes. If that makes any sense. I'm not trying to have a forced show. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Guys, go subscribe to my YouTube as well. I'm almost at 500 subscribers on YouTube, so that's really cool because that was actually my New Year's resolution. For those of you that don't know, I mean, I brought this up a long time ago because it's been 9 months. That's forever in the internet. But my New Year's resolution was actually to get 500 followers on YouTube, or subscribers on YouTube. And now I'm at 817 followers on Rumble. So absolutely blew that goal out of the water on Rumble. But I'm at 403 on YouTube right now. So if you guys want to go and you guys don't have to watch me on YouTube, but if you have a YouTube account and you're not already following me, just go and drop a subscribe just so it counts towards my my subscriber count. I'm trying to get the numbers up over there. It's really, really difficult to grow on YouTube. I haven't quite figured out the algorithm over there. You know how YouTube and Google is. YouTube and Google, they love to play with the algorithm. They love to, curate things in weird ways. What I've noticed with Rumble, so one thing I'll point out before we get into the news, because I'm still waiting for Joey. Yes, Super Earth is under attack, I know. I was thinking about talking about that as well. Which actually, okay, you're getting me off on a few things. What was I just talking about? I was talking about, crap. Oh, okay, now I remember. You're getting me off on, I'm off on tangents here, okay? I'm getting off on a tangent. Anyway, so what I've noticed on YouTube, it's super weird. So what I'll do after my streams lately is I'll go into the editor and then I'll clip out segments from today's show, for example, and then I will post those segments as separate news stories, news segments. And what I've noticed on YouTube is that as soon as you post a video, that first most recent one is the one that gets all of your traction. That's the one that gets all of the attention from YouTube, and everything else is thrown to the wayside, really. I mean, there's some that like kind of shine through every now and again, but it's really weird. So as soon as you post something new, it's like everything else doesn't exist. At least that's what it seems like. For example, I've been scheduling all of these segments, and I schedule them, spaced apart, but they don't show up in anyone's algorithm until like a few days later. Like they don't start getting views until a few days later. It's super weird. Super weird. I don't understand it. Because with Rumble, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know Rumble has a lot of bots, But Rumble, I will get consistent views just all around. It doesn't matter what time I post. It doesn't matter, like if I have other things waiting to be scheduled. YouTube is just super weird with their algorithm. I have not figured it out. And then what Killing It Sense is talking about here, let me actually pull it up. Big news on the Helldiver front. For those of you that don't know, I'm a big Helldivers fan. I'm also a massive Halo fan. So what do you know, guys? Let's pull this up while we're waiting for Joey. Guys, it's happened. This one is special, Helldivers. Our first legendary war bond is here. Step into the boots of the Obedient Democracy Support Troopers, ODSTs, and prepare to make history. The Helldivers 2 X Halo ODST Legendary War Bond is filled with Halo ODST-inspired weapons, armor, patterns, and more. Guys, we finally got it. We got Helldivers and Halo. Helldivers 2 tonight? Maybe. We'll see. I got a lot of stuff I got to do tonight. DM me Reality Pocket. Wednesdays are busy, all right? This Wednesday's a busy one. But let's watch this trailer because this is freaking dope. They have the actual Halo assault carbine or assault rifle in Helldivers now. Or they're going to in a few days. Super Earth is at war with 3 alien aggressors. Teams of highly trained Helldivers are freedom's only defense. They are the best of the best. Of the best. And then they got the ODST music. Dude, that's sick. Mix of actual gameplay. Visual quality may depend on your hardware. They're showing the ODST drop in. Joey, you get to wait a moment. You know, I'm watching this super badass thing right here. All right, Joey can't see it because he's waiting in the wings. I'll pull it up for him now. Joey, you don't understand the absolute like amazingness that is happening here on screen. Everyone can see you now, Joey. Hello. Unless your camera's frozen. I see. Is this actually from Halo? This doesn't look like the Halo pistol. This does, though. I'm excited for this. It's literally 1-to-1 for the Halo carbine. That's badass.
Is this Helldivers?
Yeah, dude. Helldivers is getting a Halo ODST update. Look, it's a Halo shotgun. They have the Halo assault rifle. They have the Halo SMG. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. You know I'm going to have to get that. I'm most excited for that carbine. That looks badass. If it's not medium armor, though, I'm going to be really upset. Okay, but yeah, there you go. That is gaming news. This is huge gaming news in my opinion. Massive gaming news. The reason it's massive gaming news is because Helldivers has been doing a lot of great things for their community lately, like bringing back PlayStation players that they recently kicked off their network, and also bringing Xbox players into the fold. So super cool in gaming news. Oh wait, back to this room. Hello, Joey. How are you doing today?
Well, how gracious for them to bring back people that should have never left.
Yeah, basically what happened is some countries don't allow PlayStation accounts, PlayStation Network accounts. And the Helldivers platform forced people in every country to have a PlayStation account to play. So that literally locked a bunch of people out of their accounts.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, but they recently reversed it. They went back on that decision. So now everyone's able to play now. And they've been listening to the community a lot. And I've been talking about it for a while since they announced that Xbox was coming to, or Helldivers was coming to Xbox. I was like, this is the time for them to have a Halo crossover. So I'm super excited. I didn't think we'd actually get like legit Halo weapons, so it looks really cool. We didn't get any of like the Halo alien weapons, but I knew that was a long shot. So.
Or like the little sword thing.
Oh, that was definitely a long shot. Getting the energy sword? No. I was more thinking like maybe we could at least get something like the Needler. You know, that like pink little pistol. Yeah, and then they explode after you shoot too many into them. Mm-hmm. yeah. All right, but yeah. So I had some stories I actually wanted to get into, Joey, but I was waiting for you because I didn't want to be halfway through them and then have to re-explain them.
Oh, well, that's nice of you.
Well, that's nice of me. Well, we have this first story, Joey. We're gonna get into. This is actually an update to a previous story. Not this one. This story. So this story we have here is from Washington. Washington teen emotionally confronts her parents over honor killing plot. You're disgusting monsters.
I remember this.
Yeah, so this is an update. For those of you that don't remember, these Muslim parents were trying to send their daughter to the Middle East to be married off to some guy she had never met. And she denied them and refused it. So then they tried to kill her outside of her high school. But it's okay, Joey. You know why? Because the father is going to get 20 months and the mother is going to get a year.
Oh, that's justice.
That's justice right there. So it says a Muslim teenager who was nearly strangled by her Iraqi parents in an apparent honor killing plot blasted them as monsters as they were sentenced in Washington on Monday over the horrific caught-on-camera ordeal. I haven't seen the camera footage. I don't really want to.
Yeah, I don't want to.
The teen, only identified as Fatima, lashed out at her parents, Ihsan and Zahra Ali, in an Evergreen state court after they were previously accused of trying to kill their daughter, then 17, outside Timberline High School last October. You think I'm a disgusting human being? Well, I think you're a disgusting monster, the teen told her father as she delivered an emotional victim impact statement ahead of the sentencing. Did her father call her a disgusting human being? Fatima called her father a disgusting monster before he was sentenced to 20 months. Dude, you literally tried to strangle your daughter in broad daylight and you get 20 months? Like, you plot out the death of your daughter and you get 20 months?
That's,
And the mother got a year, who was an accomplice.
I wonder how that would be if their last names weren't Ali.
Yeah, it says Fatima's mother will serve just under a year for her part in the crime.
Yeah. Oh, well, you guys, it's part of your culture to do honor killing, so have at it.
Yeah, what's the justification for giving them such a light sentence? Like, oh, well, she's about to be an adult anyway, so they have no control over her now. Like, oh, they're no threat to her anymore. Like, what kind of BS is that?
They've understood the trouble of their ways.
What's up, guys? I see all of you guys in the chat. I'll be reading the chat after the story. I just want to get through it a little bit more. So it says here, how can you call yourself a father? You tried to kill me. My dad tried to kill me with his own hands. Do you have no love for me? My mom saw me almost pass away right in front of her own eyes and didn't help me at all. Didn't see if I was okay. Didn't even try to be there for me. Fatima added as she addressed her mother. The girl's parents were both acquitted of attempted murder charges earlier this month over the savage October 18th, 2024 attack. Instead, her father was found guilty of assault and unlawful imprisonment. Are you fucking serious?
There's got to be like some judge by jury or peers type shit. They're just gonna let them fucking.
Right? Was it like a Muslim jury? Like what? Like, oh, that was a little aggressive, man. You should have convinced her to go willingly.
Yeah. Like,
there should have just been some light beating and maybe not the strangling.
This is how like our laws get taken advantage of, though. Like with a jury of our own peers, like people hear that and go, "Well, we better get on those juries to help our own."
So it says okay, so. Instead, her father was found guilty of assault and unlawful imprisonment, while her mom was only found guilty of violating a court order. The judge imposed the maximum sentences for the charges they ended up being convicted of: 20 months for the father and just 1 year for the mother. So this doesn't seem like this is the judge's fault, because the judge tried to give him as much as possible. This seems like the prosecutor's fault.
Mm.
Am I wrong? Right? Because the judge gave them the max sentence he could.
Yeah, well, typically when you have issues, a lot of I remember the Mike Brown situation with in Ferguson, and everyone got excited. We're like, we're gonna charge the cop with first-degree murder. I was like, dude, that's like the wrong thing to try to charge him with. You're not gonna get him on first-degree murder in that situation. So a lot of the times the prosecutors want to overshoot to get the bigger charge, and when it doesn't, or they undershoot. But a lot of it comes down to what the prosecutor is looking for. So makes you wonder if the fucking prosecutor's in on it too.
Well, yeah, and then things aren't dished out equally. Crimes aren't dished out equally because like what if I were to do the same thing? Right? I wouldn't be getting 20 months. Like if it was like some other if it was some like Christian guy who was like, we're gonna send you to we're gonna send you to the Pope and get married to someone in the royal church, and you're like, no, I won't, and then you run away, and then your father tries to kill you. I would get life in prison.
Guido said this trash is trying to kill his daughter. Meanwhile, I'm here tearing up because mine drove herself to school for the first time this morning.
Wow.
Aww.
Well, congratulations, Guido.
What a contrast in fathers.
Right. Yeah, this guy's worried about sending his daughter to another country to marry a guy she's never met, and he's probably never met, or maybe met once. And that's quite the contrast. Wow. So it says here, though, that during the trial, prosecutors said that the girl had run away from home on the day of the attack because she had been abused and feared her parents were going to take her to their native Iraq. The daughter told cops that her father had recently been threatening her with honor killing for refusing an arranged marriage with an older man in another country. And then here's the father being arrested. Here's the mother.
Unbelievable.
Multiple students frantically tried to intervene as the teen's father was caught on camera putting the girl into a headlock until she passed out. During the sentencing, Judge Christine Schaller said Fatima would likely have died if it weren't for the bystanders. Your behavior was reprehensible and nothing defends what you did, the judge told the father. You were not going to let her go. You were not going to let her breathe because nobody else was going to control the situation. You were going to maintain control. So yeah, this seems like an issue with the prosecutor because the judge obviously didn't like this guy.
I mean, what kind of people could like this guy?
It would have to be someone of the same religion.
Quite frankly,
it would have to be,
I guess so.
It would have to be someone of the same religious belief. Because this is all a religious thing. It's honor killing. You're dishonoring the family by not going and marrying this guy that we've arranged. Like, it's all a religious thing.
Listen, we met him on the internet. He's okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to give an update to this story, guys, because I did bring this up. But yeah, there's the update. They're going to be out walking the streets, breathing the same air as you and I in about less than 2 years. So
yeah, by the time the midterms come rolling around, they're going to be able to vote.
You're laughing, but that's actually not even.
I know,
because they weren't even charged with felonies.
You just wonder, like,
Oh my god, it's so ridiculous.
I can't even imagine this scenario because the problem with like, and this is how they always take advantage of like Christians and stuff is like Christians will do for the most part, obviously there's outliers, but most of the times if you get in situations like this with a jury of your own peers, Christians are going to do the right thing. They're not going to go, well, he's a Christian, so I'm going to give him a lesser, I'm going to try to get him off, or I'm going to this, that, and the third. Christians will mostly do the right thing, even if it's their own kind. Yeah. But when it comes to like Muslims and to a lesser extent, Das Juden, I mean, it's really just about like standing up for the ethos. It's like some sort of collective, the sum of our parts. We're gonna hold on to our own.
Yeah,
I am here, says son of Wiggum.
Son of Wiggum. Oh yeah, what's up, Wiggum? But yeah, so here let's go through the chat. What was everyone saying? I see Villainous. He was in the chat. He said, "What's up, Tyler? Joey? What's up? What's up?" Villainous and I have been playing a lot of Warframe together. That's been a lot of fun. Fishy, he said, "That's it. 20 months and a year. Hypocrites." Yeah, it's beyond hypocritical. You're literally letting a murderer out. This guy, he didn't murder anyone, but he would have. He absolutely would have. The judge said it himself. The judge even said, "You would have killed her." Given the opportunity.
He didn't even get attempted murder, right? It was just assault.
It was assault. Yeah, it was assault. But even the judge was like, "You were going to kill her." Like, how is it that even the judge can be like, "You were going to kill her," bam, assault? Like, I don't know. It seems ridiculous.
The prosecutor wasn't seeking it.
Yeah, basically.
It makes me like I would really like look into this goddamn prosecutor now, and I know the Trump administration doesn't probably have the resources to look at everything that happens in the fucking world, but I mean, holy crap! How do you not get them for attempted murder.
Yeah. This trash trying to kill his. Okay, yeah, we read that one.
No,
That's
the
a good
judge
reason.
gave him the judge gave him the maximum. It's just the prosecutor wasn't seeking certain things, so the judge's hands were tied.
Yeah,
essentially.
that's what I was saying. Is the judge seemed like he knew that this should have gone further, but whoever the prosecutor was clearly wasn't. They downplayed the charges. Basically, they went for murder and then they went lower.
I wonder if you could find out who the prosecutor was. What was the prosecutor's name? Maybe it was like.
I mean, it might say in here. Does it say?
Maybe it was like Heshmala or some shit.
Oh crap! I'll have to look back later. I went to another article. I closed out of that.
El
one.
Hafa.
I have too many windows. I had to start trimming them down.
To the window.
No, villainous, but yeah, villainous. The judge did give them the maximum for what he could, but it was more on the prosecutor. We could be more upset on the prosecutor on this one. Anyway, let's see. Let's jump to this, Joey. Joey, you know what I'm about to do. You know what
Do
this.
I?
Yeah. It's that new thing that Rumble wants us to do.
Oh, ads.
Oh wait. It says that I have 0.
You have 0?
Yeah, it
Ads?
says it says I could do 0 today. Maybe I did too much this month.
Try refreshing. Sometimes it takes a while for it to load.
I did refresh.
No,
Oh,
you haven't
there it
done
goes.
too much. Yeah, CR Goodwin was tweeting about how he does. There is no like too many.
I know Shitty Gov likes this one. I'll do this one for Shitty Gov. It doesn't pop up on here. Let me go to my solo camera, Joey. All right, guys. We got this ad right here from Caddis Sports, is it? All right, outdoor crew, if you're into fishing, camping, or getting off the grid, meet your new best friend, the Hunter Orange 25-quart cooler from Caddis Sports. This isn't your average cooler. It's molded for max durability. That word seems to get everybody. I saw Chris reading this one the other day. This isn't your average cooler. It's roto-molded for max durability, bear-proof, and 20% lighter than other brands. So it's easy to haul whether you're deep in the backcountry or just setting up at the dock. You'll get up to 3 days of ice retention thanks to thick, high-performance insulation that means cold drinks, fresh food, and fewer ice runs, whether you're chasing muttons offshore or posted up at the campsite. Best part, it's 40 to 50% cheaper than the big name coolers, but it's still built to perform season after season. And like Caddis Sports name, brand gear, it's proudly made in the USA. Use code RUMBLE at checkout for 10% off your order today. That's caddissports.com. Go grab the Hunter Orange 25-quart cooler and keep your next adventure ice cold. Thank you, guys. All right, let's move back. Transition back over here. Joey, are you still here? Did you walk away? Hello, Joey.
I just adjusted my camera so it wasn't cutting off the top of my head.
I was going to point that out, but, it's okay. I do
Don't worry.
appreciate how you have the cat perfectly loafed in frame.
If you notice it, it means I noticed it.
Well,
He's trying to figure out the best position to get on camera.
Fishy said no ads for you, muaha. No, wrong. I got the ads. Look, we got to get the ads in. It's part of supporting Rumble. Okay, we like to support Rumble here. Anyway.
Well, the point I was going to make with CR Goodwin is he's like I do whenever I can get an ad, I do it, and he's like, I've noticed I've made like 30 to 40 extra bucks a week from just doing every ad I can possibly do.
Yeah.
And
I've decided that I refuse to do ads during my gaming content. But in between
it's hard to
stories,
do that. It's hard to do ads during gaming content.
I'm trying to get into the routine of checking it in between stories to see if I could fit it in between a story.
Yeah. What is it usually, like 15 or 20 minutes? Oh god, go to a single camera for a second.
Go to single. Okay. Joey's got to move around a little bit, I guess. That's fine. Joey, let me know when you're back, I suppose. Oh wait, I know what to do. I know what to do. I'll know when he's back. What else can I talk about while I wait for Joseph? Let's bring up this story. This isn't a crazy story. I could talk about it while he's gone. Let's move over to here. I just got to take out his camera for a second. Okay, there we go. Let's move to this story. Transition over here. Alrighty. All right, guys. So, yeah, we got this story right here. It says Ranger fired for hanging transgender flag in Yosemite. Park visitors may face prosecution. So I thought this story was interesting. So this ranger was also fired, according to other stories that I was reading. So Yosemite, California, a Yosemite National Park ranger was fired after hanging a pride flag from El Capitan, while some visitors face potential prosecution for alleged violation of protest restrictions that have been tightened under President Donald Trump. Shannon S.J. Jocelyn, a ranger and biologist who studies bats, said they hung a 66-foot wide transgender pride flag on the famous climbing wall that looms over the California park's main thoroughfare for about 2 hours on May 20th before taking it down voluntarily. A termination letter they received last week accused Jocelyn of failing to demonstrate acceptable conduct in their capacity as a biologist and cited the May incident. I was really hurting because there were a lot of policies coming from the current administration that target trans people, and I'm non-binary. Jocelyn, 35, told the Associated Press, adding that hanging the flag was a way to tell myself that we're all safe in national parks. I don't know. I don't know how that's supposed to signal that, but okay. Jocelyn said their firing sends the opposite message. If you're a federal worker and you have any kind of identity that doesn't agree with the current administration, then you must be silent or you will be eliminated. Park officials on Tuesday said they were working with the U.S. Justice Department to pursue visitors and workers who violated restrictions and demonstrations at the park that had more than 4 million visitors last year. 1 second, please.
Where'd Tyler go? I'm here. Do you hear me?
Fucking dogs decided they want to bark at literally nothing as usual.
Well, at least they weren't trying to knock your camera over.
No, that's the department of your cat, Joey.
The department of my cat.
That's the department of your cat, yes. Since you stepped away, what we're talking about is this park ranger in California, Yosemite, actually got fired for going up this popular cliff and hanging a transgender flag.
Thank God.
Yeah, well, so the reason she got fired is because there are currently restrictions on protest in the park because they've had a lot of issues with people trashing the place and leaving, stuff around. And they have designated areas in the park where if you want to go and protest, you can go and protest. But so this park ranger decided while she was off duty, she was going to go hang a transgender flag, a 66-foot transgender flag for 2 hours up on a cliff. And yeah, she got fired. But before I got distracted by my dogs, I was reading this. I was really hurting because there were a lot of policies coming from the current administration that target trans people, and I'm non-binary. Jocelyn, 35, told the Associated Press, adding that hanging the flag was a way to tell myself that we're all safe in national parks. Jocelyn said their firing sends the opposite message. If you're a federal worker and you have any kind of identity that doesn't agree with the current administration, then you must be silent or you will be eliminated. No, all we're asking you to do is not hang 60-foot transgender flags on national cliffs. National park cliffs.
Very simple, yeah. You don't have the my free speech. It's like I always like, you know what the left, what I've realized with the left is they're a lot like internet trolls. They like try to push the boundaries of like things just for the sake of doing it and not in the spirit of it.
Yeah.
They're just like purposely like, well, it's my free speech to put this random flag on a thing, and it's like, yeah, and it's their right to just fire you because you're retarded.
Yeah, I was talking about this with Villainous when we were playing Warframe the other day, and he brought up the quote that I feel like it doesn't get brought up enough. Not enough people, too many people ask if we can, and not enough people ask if we should. I think there's a lot of that. Can we do this? Maybe. Should we do it, though? That's the real question. Anyway, says the agencies are pursuing administrative action against several Yosemite National Park employees and possible criminal charges against several park visitors who are alleged to have violated federal laws and regulations related to demonstrations. National Park Services spokesperson Rachel Paulitz said. That's an interesting name for a National Park spokesperson, Paulitz. Jocelyn said a group of 7 climbers, including 2 other park rangers, hung the flag. The other rangers are on administrative leave pending an investigation. Flags have long been displayed on El Capitan without consequences, said Jonah Citron Day. Wait, what? Is that someone's name? Said Joanna Citron. Her middle name is Citron, and then last name Day. That threw me off so bad. Joanna Citron Day. No, Day. D.
Oh, Day.
D.
Citron Day sounds like some sort of like Gears of War, like fake holiday, like the
Dude,
Citron Day.
Did I just read someone's Xbox gamer tag? What?
XXX Citron Day XX.
Yeah. Joanna Citron Day. Like, okay.
Joanna Citron. Like,
Yeah,
it sounds like a.
It sounds
just
like
sounds
a
like a fake
tag.
name.
It sounds like a
sounds
user.
like a.
It sounds like a username you'd see on Twitter. Like,
It was like coming to the ring at 170 pounds, Joanna Citron. It's like a total wrestling name.
so weird. Anyway, sorry, that threw me off. We got freaking Joanna Citron Day and Rachel Paulitz. Like, who are these people at the
fake,
national
these are
park?
fake names.
These are fake. These people don't exist.
They sound like a transformer. Joanna Citron.
Excuse me,
Sounds
Mrs. Citron Day and Mrs. Paulitz, if you'd come with me, please. It says Paulitz. It says Paulitz.
These are fake names.
These are fake names.
These aren't real people. This is a fake story. This is dead internet theory.
Well, you got to keep in mind, one of these people are outside the binary, Joey. She said she was non-binary.
Oh.
That's why she was
that's
putting the
right.
flag out
Yeah.
there, you know?
Very important.
Okay, I haven't been reading the chat. First chat I read after not reading it for a minute is Fishy saying, Citron, roll out.
Yeah, for real. Citron turns into like a Prius.
So there's currently no pending legal case, but on May 21st, a day after the flag display, Acting Superintendent Ray McPadden, what? These aren't real people.
These are not real names.
Acting Superintendent Ray McPadden signed it. Wait, why are they all females?
What the hell?
Anyway,
sounds like that George Carlin bit where he's like, "These are not real names."
Wait, actually, no. Ray could be a male. That could be a
No,
dude.
Yeah, but
McPadden throws me off. I'm sorry. That's very feminine.
I don't know.
It's very feminine. Anyway,
Sounds like an Irish police chief.
so this is a rule prohibiting people from hanging banners, flags, or signs larger than 15 square feet in park areas designated as wilderness or potential wilderness that covers 94% of the park, according to Yosemite's website. So basically, it's just against the law to hang massive coverings in the national park. That makes sense. They're not saying you can't hang flags and stuff. I mean, 15 square feet is pretty freaking large for a flag. So obviously hanging a 60 square foot one, they're going to be a little upset. But I don't think they're upset that they put it up there. It's that people put them up and then leave them there. So it's not that she like put it up there for 2 hours and then brought it down. It's just the fact that she's doing it in general. The law is in place to prevent people from leaving it there. But I guess it's being used in this case to just not have it at all. Anyway, yeah, I don't need to read the rest of this article. I just thought it was freaking hilarious. I mean, we got enough laughs. We got enough laughs out of those names alone. I mean, McPadden, what the? Anyway, so I just brought up that story just because I was waiting for you to be back, Joey. What I actually wanted to jump to was this update we have on the illegal trucker story. So, update on the illegal trucker. The illegal immigrant trucker accused of killing 3 people failed his English and road sign test, according to the Department of Transportation. Harjinder Singh answered just 2 of 12 verbal questions correctly and identified only 1 traffic sign correctly.
Wow.
The illegal immigrant truck driver who was accused of causing a crash in Fort Pierce, Florida that killed 3 people and failed the English and road sign test, officials are investigating the wreck, said that Harjinder Singh, who crossed into the United States illegally in 2018, we already read all that. So during an interview with the driver, investigators administered an English language proficiency ELP assessment in accordance with the FMCSA guidance. The Department of Transportation said in a statement, the driver failed the assessment, providing correct responses to 2 of 12 verbal questions and only accurately identifying 1 of 4 traffic signs. Are they saying that they conducted this investigation following the accident?
Mm-hmm.
During the Federal Motor Safety Administration's interview with the driver, investigators administered... Wow. That's... wow. The thought that... So we have another story that is in relation to this. So he actually didn't get his CDL from California first. He first got it from Washington. So this man went from Washington to California all the way to Florida. That's terrifying. This man's been on the road. This man drove across the entire United States, not being able to identify traffic signs or speak English. That's
God
just
damn, they might as well give me a license.
that's just terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
You know what's funny too is when I went to, and this was obviously 2009, so it was a different world. Well, not a different world, but people were less. They actually tried to follow the rules, and now it's total chaos ever since Donald Trump got elected the first time. Not because of him, because of the crazy left. But I couldn't. I got they made me read the bottom line for the psych test, and I got all of them right except one, and that wasn't good enough for them for me to get my driver's permit. So since then, I just said, fuck it, I'm not going to get my driver's permit then. But these people apparently can just not know anything about the rules of the road and just be allowed to drive. And I'm just sitting here like...
Well, I've always found it funny because in California, what's called the reason that this guy failed that much, you know what it is he probably went to the DMV, and depending on where you go, like where I live, you get infinite retries. Like literally, when you go and take your driver's test, it's on the computer, and not only do you get infinite retries, Joey, let's say you get to a question and you're like, oh fuck, I don't know this question. You get 3 skip buttons.
What is this lowering the standards that we're in society? I should just talk about this on my show today. I should just talk about the... See, I've been thinking about it, and you see the title of my show is Brainstorming Ideas, because who does the news better than Tyler? What's the point of me doing the news when he does it well already? Like, I'm just like, why are we lowering our standards? Is this some sort of... we need more people in the workforce because the amount of competent people are lessening, so we need to we need to like lower standards? Or is it like they're trying to actively destroy our country? I think it's the latter, obviously, but
what I think it is it's not that they're trying to destroy the country. I think that they're just trying to make it easier to win elections. Because think about it, Joey, if illegals can get IDs, it makes it a lot easier for them to vote.
Yeah.
Because all you need in California is a valid driver's license to vote. So if I can get a valid driver's license as an illegal, guess who can vote? And then you can say that it's not happening, but it is. And it's like...
lessening is for quota to be less racist, higher percent of X people in your workforce. Yeah. I love how society has become... It's the way... I'm fascinated by the way...
up.
I'm fat. Stonks go up. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by the way patterns emerge. Like it's apparently the worst thing in the world ever to be racist or slightly racist or have statistics appear to be racist, even though they're not racist. You know, we've all as groups of people have different start points. You know, the Irish came over here after the potato famine. The Chinese came over here to build the railroads. Like, starting points are different, so we're all not going to have the same freaking statistics. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like the left sees that, and they're just like, well, we need to make everything equal and balanced. And it's like, what is this? Like, are we adjusting settings in a video game, or are we living life?
No, it's settings in a video game, Joey.
That's what it sounds like to me. It's like, you know what when they started pissing me off about video games. So the idea that you can update a video game after release as a patch it's a great thing to have, just in case there's an oversight and the game's broken. But now they don't even bother testing games.
Yeah,
and now
you get the opposite issue. Before that, you'd have games released and then they'd get released and then you couldn't fix the problem. But now they just released an unfinished product and you test it for them.
And what they do is when something is, quote, getting abused or people are too good at a certain thing, what do? They nerf. And they what's the term? They buff. They nerf and buff.
They nerf,
to balance things.
Nerf, buff,
I hate that.
Patch. Yeah, I mean, we're getting a little bit off on a tangent here, but one of the most annoying things ever that video game removed is Rockstar. I'm a big fan of Grand Theft Auto. Played way too much of it. They have the cargo bob in the game, which is the helicopter. It's the freight helicopter that can have the back open up. It's got the 2 propellers on top. And you used to be able to walk into the back of it. You could basically break the latch on the back door and get the ramp to fall open, and then you could drive cars and walk in it and all this really cool stuff. They patched it and created an invisible wall where that entrance would have been for no reason. Literally no reason. People would break open the latch, and then they patched it for no... It wasn't breaking anything. It wasn't breaking the game.
I hate that. I hate that. And but that's I bring that up, and I don't think it's a tangent because it's kind of relating to how the left operates with lowering standards and shit. It's just like we need a balance. We need to balance the algorithm of the game because it's not fair for some people. And it's like, dude, that's life, man. Some people, everything goes through cycles. Like the Irish, the Italians, they all struggled when they came to this country, and then they fucking kept working. And maybe if we take off some of these regulations, it would be much easier for people to lift themselves up out of nothing.
Maybe.
Just a thought.
That's what I've been saying for a while. But let's read here because this talks more about how he actually acquired his CDL. So it says here the Department of Transportation indicated that the investigation began on August 14th, 2 days after the crash. So yes, that proficiency test was administered within the last week. So Singh has been charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide. He was arrested in Stockton, California. So they actually let him go back to California. That's interesting. According to the Department of Transportation, Singh was issued a regular full-term commercial driver's license in the state of Washington in July 2023, but illegal immigrants are not allowed to obtain this type of license in Washington. So whoever issued that, like Sinoski was saying, they need to be investigated if that's the case. A year later, Singh was issued a limited-term non-domiciled commercial driver's license in California. However, the Department of Transportation is investigating further whether the issuance of that license followed federal regulations. It probably didn't follow federal regulations, but it probably followed state regulations. Like I was arguing with Sinoski last night. Yes, it's illegal at the federal level. I fully understand that it federally is illegal. The federal government should stop states doing this, but they're not. States are issuing these licenses. They're letting people come in, get these licenses. Look, this guy literally couldn't pass proficiency tests. They're just passing him. They're passing him through. They're just pushing him through. States like California are doing that, and the answer isn't to go after the people in the DMV that are rubber stamping this because they're following their state law when they do that. The answer isn't to do that. The answer is to make all of the California licenses invalid in your state. That's what I've been advocating for. Stop saying to go after the DMV people that are following California state law. Just make California licenses invalid in your state. That way, if this guy ever goes back to Florida, the moment you see those California plates, he gets pulled over. And if he doesn't have a valid, license to drive in Florida, he can't drive. Because California doesn't give a crap. Yeah, and, for all this talk about following federal law, what about all of the states that completely ignore federal law on all the other things? Like the easiest one being marijuana. Marijuana isn't followed by, any state at this point, but it's still federally illegal. It's a Schedule 1 substance up there with heroin and crack cocaine, but I can go down to the corner store and buy it right now. Do we need to be prosecuting people for that because it's federally illegal, or are they going to continue to follow the state law?
It's all about. It's the laws only get enforced based off the culture.
Well, what I said in your chat last night is
which I ignored because I don't want to feed into it. But
I know. Well, the only point I wanted to make here on the show today was, crap, I lost it. Yeah, what I was going to say is, fuck. I just had
federally.
Okay, I remember now.
State.
If my options are to break federal law or to break state law, I'm going to break federal law because I live in this state, and the state has more power over me than the federal government. The state government can take my house.
Yeah. That but that's how I believe that's kind of how
that's how the Civil War broke apart. There was a lot of people in the Civil War that didn't want to fight on the side of the Confederates, but they looked at who they were going to go against, and they're like, do I become a traitor to my homeland and go fight for the other side, or do I join my neighbors?
This is why you always got to look at the conditions that somebody's in when something happens. Whenever someone wants to brand somebody as a bad person, or like the Confederate statues, why are the Confederate statues up in those states? Because it's each state is supposed to look at themselves as their own small nation, basically. And it's well, this guy, he fought for us. He wasn't going to go join the opposite side and fight against us. That's asinine. You know what I mean? Of course, you can't just man, that whole. I do the same thing with the Russia-Ukraine stuff. Like, you really need to try to get inside the mind of the people that we're being told are bad people and see how they got to that point.
Yeah.
You know, everyone just thinks it's like when they read a book or watch a movie, they'd be like, I wouldn't do that. I would join the right side. And I just, I see how people act nowadays. And most people can't even distinguish what the right side is present day, yet they're going to be able to do it in much tougher circumstances. I don't think so.
That's why, like, if I'm sitting in that's why I don't like what Snosky's been saying about the DMV stuff. If I'm a DMV employee and I'm just sitting there at my desk and some guy comes to me, he gives me all the paperwork, and I'm sitting there and putting it on my computer. Everything fits into the fucking computer, but then I know in the back of my mind, hey, is this guy an illegal? Is this guy an illegal? I should ask him if he's an illegal. No, that's not going through my fucking mind because I'm doing my job, and if I sit here and start asking this guy questions, I'm going to get in trouble, and I could get hit with a lawsuit for discrimination and shit because that's the state law. I'm going to follow the state law. The federal law might be, oh, this guy's an illegal, don't give him identifying, paperwork. Well, tough shit. California's made it legal.
Now, what do you guys think in the chat? What do you identify as? Should the state have more power over the federal? I believe most people agree with that, right? That the state should have more power over the federal. So when it comes to a situation like this, though, where it's just like, well, the federal government should do something. Now, this is where you get into those lines crossing scenario. Do you want the federal government to intercede state law, or do you not want them to intercede state law? Because essentially a lot of people will be like, I'm small government, I'm pro states government, I'm pro states rights, I'm not pro federal government overreach. So in a situation like this, it would be, now you're pro federal government overreach because it makes sense, obviously. But then, going back to like other things, are they, move an inch, move an inch, move an inch. What else, you find things that you can now start using federal government power for. It's a really tough question for me, honestly.
Yeah.
I think about this all the time, as you know. I go back and forth on this about, I feel like Donald Trump should just use the power of the federal government to take out these people because
but then
to me, they're all breaking. Yeah, exactly. To me, like the mayor of Boston, whatever her name is, she's completely like, she was elected by a citizenry of her state or city, and now she's going to literally only advocate for people who don't belong in this country. To me, that's federal. To me, that's like a form of sedition or treason, and I think the federal government should go in there and arrest her.
Well,
then you're going to start to get this retaliation where they're going to, if the left gets power in 2028. They're going to do the same thing to mayors in right-wing cities, and then that's probably what's going to cause a civil conflict.
And then I got to address what Concrete Hades said in the chat. He said, that's cowardice, Tyler, obeying laws over morals. There's no morals that come into question here, Hades. The question is, do I follow federal law or do I follow the state law? And if you're asking that question in your mind, the first thing that's going to go through your mind is, who's going to affect me more? Is my local state going to affect me more, or is the federal government going to affect me more? Now, depending on what you're doing, it'll likely be the state. Your state will always affect you more. Where you live affects you more. Your local government has more effect on you than your state government. Your state has more effect on you than your federal government. Because your local government can screw you in some in ways that your state government can't even.
I'll tell you what.
It comes in degrees, and people say it all the time. What's the most important thing people say to focus on in politics, Joey? Your local politics. Mm-hmm. Because that's where your power is. That's where the power is.
I'll tell you what, when you talk about Carl J's situation, who was on both of our shows a couple of weeks ago, Biden administration wasn't trying to take his house. The local government was trying to take his house.
Right.
Is trying to take his house. Currently taking his house.
Yeah. And that's my point, right? We have the Trump administration in power, but we still have these states that are doing whatever they want. So it's a hard question to answer. Because, like, what about these doctors that are forced to perform abortions in some states? Because there was a law that was in place forcing them to perform abortions, even though a lot of these doctors knew that they were killing a baby. Now, you would tell them, oh, but your morals, right? I would say, oh, but your morals. But if you're a doctor and you're being forced to, like, that's state law. That's federal law, and then you have state law. I don't know. I'm always gonna say that people are going to more likely follow state law over federal law. You're more likely to follow your local law.
Yeah, you are more likely to follow your local law because you live in that area.
And that was the whole point of the conversation I was having with Noski, because he was saying, well, federally, and I'm like, I understand federally. I'm saying that California doesn't care.
Villainous, I call him Black Dragon because he said that's what his name is supposed to be, but he says call him V, but I'll call him whatever I want. V says for this situation, he feels like the feds the feds take action when one state affects people in another state. But if that's your line of standard, then a civil war will literally break out tomorrow. If, like Tyler was saying, I think he was saying this before, like if you cross state lines to get an abortion, like is somebody going to stop that? And if they do, I mean, no law enforcement from another state is going to go inside of another state and then demand that take this person back. And then the other law enforcement is going to be like, no, you can't do that. This is literally going to cause a civil conflict. Most people in law enforcement aren't going to put their neck on the line for something like that. They're going to just
and then Wiggum brings up water rights. There are other federal laws that already cross this line. Water rights, for instance. Well, I mean, water rights. Joey, you could do a whole show about water rights and how fucking ridiculous that is. The fact that people in LA can vote away the water of people in other surrounding counties. Like that is like, hey, you know that water that's local to you? Well, there's more people here that need it, so we're gonna take it.
Dude, I literally like for the last, I think it was Monday's show, right? The last show I did was we were looking at the LA County map because you mentioned how retarded it is, and I'm just looking at it like
absolutely retarded.
This is not even like a coherent like fucking shape in mathematics. Like we looked at Alaska's maps because Nora's from Alaska, and like it made sense. There are like 4 or 5 sided things that are based off the population. LA is just this.
Yeah, they make it blatantly obvious that they cut these districts up in a way to disenfranchise voters. I've told you repeatedly. I even said in the chat there when you were pulling up the counties where my district is. I'm still in LA County, even though my county would be Republican if we weren't included. But because they don't want us to be Republican, they include us because we get outvoted when they include us.
Gerrymandering is an issue that most people, if you're not politically initiated, don't talk about. And it's such a big, like you could swing. Like I saw, like if like the Republicans were able to get rid of like the type of gerrymandering that the Dems do, like it could swing seats by like 30 seats. Like that's crazy. Yeah, you wouldn't even need Democrats in it. Like you wouldn't need their help on it, dude. If they fixed the gerrymandering and made things how they should look, and I think this country is more conservative than it's not, and I think most people just live life, and the establishment takes advantage of that to manipulate them, and they get tricked into thinking that they're progressives. I don't think most people in this. I don't think 60% of this country is progressive. I don't believe that for a second. You talk to people on the streets, you talk to random people one-on-one.
That's what I mean. I talk to people in my area in California, and I would say 80% of them are more right-leaning than left.
Yeah, there might be certain things. I think when I think about the pulse of the nation, just based off speaking to people, every place I go to, I try to speak to some people just to get like the lay of the land. I think most people are conservative, but I do think there are issues that they're a bit more progressive on, whether that's because of manipulation or not. I think people look at it as if people aren't bothering me, I don't care type of thing. So like I think something like gay marriage is something that people don't really care about. Like I don't like, you know what I mean? Like I think people are gonna be like, whatever. That's not something people are gonna vehemently fight for. But when you start seeing like this illegal immigration stuff and people are now experiencing it, where they're killing citizens of this country, whether it's car accidents or illegals raping and then brutally murdering people like Lincoln Riley.
I have a story from my. Okay, here you want to I have a story from. We'll just say my local area is what we'll say. Pull this up. You'll think this one's crazy. Actually, before we do that, I'll do an ad read real quick. But before we transition,
I was going to remind you.
No. I have it up on screen. I just got to do the ad read real quick because I'll forget the ad read if I don't do the ad read. So let's do that. We'll do an ad for Rumble Premium, and then we'll get to this story because Joey did have a good segue. But you guys have probably noticed Rumble is growing fast and not slowing down. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience. With Premium, you get ad-free viewing across the platform, no pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content you came for. Plus, premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scenes drops, and more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium, promo code STUDIO. No ads, more freedom, and content you actually care about. That's the deal. All right, there you go. There you guys go. If you guys don't already have Rumble Premium, which you should, you can go and check that out. Anyway, Joey, let's jump to this story because I thought this one was absolutely crazy. So this is actually from my local area. Husband flees to Peru after missing woman found dead in Los Angeles National Forest. And the reason I wanted to show this is because there's video of this woman's final moments.
Tonight at 11, this disturbing video just in. The husband of a...
Here, let me put it up on screen for you, Joey, because I know you can't hear it.
Yeah.
So this was caught on a Ring camera. This is this woman's final moments caught on camera. You can't really see her. You can just see what she's being carried in.
Tonight at 11, this disturbing video just in. The husband of a missing Southland mother caught on camera dragging a large object wrapped in fabric. That video captured just days before the body of this mother of 3 kids was found dumped on the side of the road in the Angeles National Forest. Tonight, an international manhunt underway to locate Josimar Cabrera. Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Fisher joining us live with what we're learning tonight. Michelle?
So neither of these people were citizens. They came from Peru. We don't have any information as to if they were here on a visa or otherwise. But again, like you were saying, we have people coming from other countries who are not nice people. They're not sending their best. This is in my local area. This was in what's called. I have a local news site that I follow on Instagram and stuff. They were reporting on this last night, even before the mainstream news sites were. That's how close it was to me. Even though I'm doxing myself a little bit. It's crazy. So, and it says a mother of 3 was found dead after going missing in Lancaster. The sheriff's department says her husband has now fled the country. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department says the body of 33-year-old Shayla Gutierrez was found in the Angeles National Forest 3 days ago. Her husband, who is the suspected killer, is believed to be in Peru. From Peru, Helga Rosillo is calling the U.S. authorities to help capture the man suspected of killing her daughter. Her family says Gutierrez's husband gave varying accounts of her whereabouts, where she went missing over a week ago. Gutierrez's sister says he first said ICE had taken her. Later, he claimed that she left with another man. In a third account, he said she'd suffered an accident. So that's how I know that they're not citizens, is that statement right there. So context clues here, you know?
Yeah.
But it says, now in Lancaster, friends and neighbors are seeking answers. One neighbor shared surveillance video with Eyewitness News. Authorities say the video shows Gutierrez's husband, 36-year-old Josimar Cabrera, dragging something large and wrapped in fabric. That's clearly a human being in that thing he was carrying. But yeah, it just goes on to say that there's now a manhunt for this individual, and he's believed to be in Peru, and they have an international manhunt looking for him now. Thankfully, the children were with the woman's parents at the time, so the children are fine at least. But yeah, the mother is now deceased, and they're looking for the father, who is believed to be the suspect. Which, I mean, obviously from that camera footage, he was dragging something human shaped, in my opinion.
How I don't know how people, like, you know, the left's response to stuff like this, the modern left at least, is usually, well, we have citizens in our own country that do it. So it's like, oh, so you just want to add to that?
Yeah.
You want to add people who, you know, they don't have proper, a lot of them don't even have proper identifications to even track easily. And you want to just add to this shit? Like, nobody, if you're doing well in Mexico or Peru or any of these other countries, if you're actually doing well there, you have no reason to go to America. So who are the people that are trying to go? Are people who are on the run or desperate? You know, like look at the California gold rush. You had a lot of people fleeing the states that they were in to escape to California. A lot of them were criminals. When you talk about this new land frontier, or we're being told to come here, you're not going to get their best unless they're like sports athletes or something. You're not getting their best. So you're just increasing the odds of having. We don't need all this extra. Listen, it's bad enough in cities with gang violence. We don't need to have all this extra violence from people who don't belong in the country. And I am not like.
We can't even get actual American citizens to assimilate. We don't need to bring other people here who have nothing to do with our culture.
Yeah, like I am not even like anti-immigration in the sense that some people are. I am pro merit immigration. And what I mean by merit is, if a baseball team wants to draft this fella out of Cuba because he's really good at baseball, then he should be on the team. We want to have the best of the best. That's how I always felt with America. But like best of the best doesn't mean we replace the average American with the average Indian or the average, Panamanian or whatever, like best of the best means like this motherfucker is exceptional and there's not another person on this planet as exceptional as they are type stuff. We don't need to just have random worker bees. We can have 16, 17, and 18-year-olds working fields and stuff. Of course, a lot of teenagers would love to have that extra money. Who's going to do these jobs?
That and they always
teenagers.
They always talk about how 18 is the perfect age for military age. Nah, dude, fuck that. Draft people onto farms.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Wait.
I just had a brilliant idea. I've been reading all these news articles about how all these farms are going to have issues harvesting crops this year because of the lack of workers. Literally, I am now going to start advocating that we have a draft for young people to go and harvest these fucking crops this year.
You know what we should do? Instead of sending kids to college to learn stupid shit like probability and math, we should be sending. There should be class. You should have some of these farms partnering up with some of these schools. So it's like, well, you can get college credits.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
You can get college credits. Yeah, he'll go get college credits because you're working on the field and you're actually learning a craft. You're actually learning something. You're actually learning how to live off the land. Like, you should earn college. Like, if you want to go to school still and, like, get your college degree in something, why don't we have that shit as elective classes? Why do I need to take, like...
Can we start subsidizing internships on farmland? Like...
we wouldn't even need to subsidize it because it subsidizes itself.
But you know what I mean? Like, we could just... We need to start sending students and people that don't have work. We just need to send them out to the fields and start harvesting. It's not like this... Talk about low-skill labor, Joey. It's not hard to go and pick some fucking crops.
So you could pay them money to do it, and you could also give them college credits, so it makes it even worth it for them. I think it's a fine idea. We how many stupid classes did you go to college? I went to college for a couple of years. How many dumb classes were there that people could take and they just took it so they can get extra credits?
I mean, that's stupid. That's just high school, and that's just even high school to get your elective credits and stuff. People were taking classes
they could
didn't
start
care
that.
About.
AP classes. How about AP farm? Oh wow. He worked on a farm for all summer, dude. Like, that's impressive. That's good. He's got some skill. He understands discipline. He understands hard work.
We need to designate at least a football-sized, field-sized farm at every school. Every school across the nation needs to have at least a football field-sized garden. And the children need to be forced to take care of it every day throughout the year.
It's great though. Think about it. They're going to build core strength. They're going to build discipline. They're going to build
so many
work.
things. Yeah, there's so many things to learn from that. I wish I had that class. Imagine showing up to school at 8 a.m. and you're like, all right, students, today we're gonna tend to the field. Like, dude, that'd be fucking sick.
Oh, that'll wake your ass up for that'll wake your ass up for math class. I'll tell you that.
That'll wake you up for math class. That'll just think about that. You'll learn about growing plants. You'll think about it. You'll learn about all the different foods and stuff that you can grow, how to grow them, how to properly maintain a garden, keep pests out, harvesting, proper seeding, like there's so many different things, and that's actually useful skills. But that's the thing, Joey. They don't want you to learn how to grow your own food. They don't want that. That's one of the major things that they fight against.
Clip idea. Clip this conversation, Tyler.
Yeah,
Tyler and Joey figure out everything.
we solved all the issues in this podcast today. I'm glad we did.
Make that part of gym class. That's another one too.
Absolutely. But anyway, I do have a lot of stories, Joey, and we're not going to get through all of them. But that's fine because I could save them for tomorrow in case there's no news tomorrow again. Anyway, I want to get your thoughts on this story because this was I don't know how I feel about this one. We're gonna jump to this next story. Joey, let me know what you think about this. So an ex-Space Force sergeant named Orest Sure.
That's another fake name.
He's very white, too. Sentenced to 54 years in prison for fatally shooting suspected teen car thief. So this guy shot and killed a teenager, 14 years old, for attempting to steal his car. And he's now going to be spending 54 years in prison for shooting a...
He could have got 20 months like the other guys.
Well, so the reason that I'm actually in agreement with the sentencing here is because it's not as simple as, oh, this guy came out and the kid was trying to steal his car. It's we'll read here. So it's a former U.S. Space Force sergeant who fired multiple rounds at 2 suspected carjackers outside his home. He killed a 14-year-old, has now been sentenced to over half a century in jail. Orest, 29, became emotional as he apologized for murdering the 14-year-old Xavier Kirk before he was sentenced to 54 years in prison for the 2023 fatal shooting. The Adams and Broomfield County's District Attorney's Office announced, "I am sorry for the events that occurred that night, for the pain, for the grief, the trauma that followed, for the impact that my case had on so many lives," a tearful Sure told Aurora, Colorado courtroom on August 15th. The deadly shooting also left a 13-year-old hospitalized. So it was a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old in a separate car. So this is actually, let's break it down what actually happened. The then 27-year-old grabbed a pistol and ran outside to his Hyundai Elantra, where he spotted 2 people dressed in all black attempting to break into his car. Sure confronted the individuals, but the would-be carjackers then fled in another car. So if you're following here, he catches them breaking into his car. They see that they're caught. So they jump into another car and flee. So they do not have his car. They do not have his belongings. The sergeant gave chase in his own car, the one that they tried to break into, and he then fired multiple rounds at the teens while chasing them. The fleeing car crashed into the backyard fence of a home 4 blocks south of Sure's residence. Kirk and his teen accomplice hopped out of the damaged car and began running away as Sure continued to fire. Kirk was found suffering from gunshot wounds to the head and back. He was transported to a local hospital and pronounced dead. The 13-year-old who was driving the getaway car was shot in the back and managed to get to a relative's house before being brought to a hospital and survived.
Okay, so you're in agreement because they left the car, so he should have just stopped shooting.
I think he's in the wrong because he gave chase.
Yeah, once they left the car, he could have stopped. But
yes, if he,
I also understand like crime of passion. I think 54 years is excessive.
54 years is a bit excessive, but I mean the description of the chase here is pretty crazy. I mean, it's a 13 and 14-year-old. They don't have any weapons, at least from the story. Maybe they did in the car, but they don't have any weapons according to this, or at least any they tried to use. And, they obviously they get caught. They flee to their car. The guy gives chase, shoots at them while driving, causes them to crash. And then once they crash, he then continues to fire at them while they're running. Like, that's quite excessive. Like, I would have stopped that way before that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I would have given chase, but I wouldn't have opened fire. I would have maybe followed them while on the phone with 911. I could see that. But to follow and open fire, I don't know. That's quite excessive. That's why I'm in agreement here with the sentencing.
Concrete Hades. God, man. You're gonna be mayor, or you're gonna be governor one day too.
What do he say?
He's just like, it was unfortunate that the 13-year-old survived.
Wow.
Sheesh.
High school. Let's see. 2. As a civilian, you cannot give chase and use lethal force. That is murder. Exactly. Yeah, our sergeant's correct. And it should not be. Concrete Hades, that's ridiculous. You're just advocating for vigilante justice. That's what happens when you chase the car, lose sight of the car, find it again, chase them down, shoot the guy because he stole from you, and then it turns out it was a different car. Oh, well, you were in the right because you were getting yours. You were getting justice. Like, no, vigilante justice doesn't help anyone, man.
And
13 14 years, I assume.
Unfortunately, vigilante justice becomes prevalent when the faith in the system is lost. And when you see stories like earlier where they only get 20 months for attempting to murder their daughter, that's how vigilante justice starts to sprout in people's minds. And I think that's probably a little bit of the energy that Concrete Hades is feeling. And I can totally understand why people would get to that point. But you have to keep in mind that you're very emotional about how the system is essentially being co-opted. And if you take matters into your own hands, they're only going to use that against us. Think of it as like jujitsu. They're going to use our momentum against us. That's why we have to be even keel. The slave morality fights differently than the master morality. We have different tactics we need to use.
Well, so Monster says, wah, only cops can do that, right? No, it's not about, no, it's not even that only cops can do it. What I'm saying is, if someone commits a crime against you and they're not actively a threat against you, you cannot then go out and seek a punishment for them. If someone,
I don't think cops should be able.
Cops are not infallible. They constantly do things wrong, but we have delegated the responsibility to them to mediate these issues. So yes, they are the ones that can go and do that. What I'm saying is, if someone's actively a threat to you, you do everything in your power to stop that threat. But once that threat has stopped, you have no power to do anything to that person once they've stopped. You don't get to, if I'm walking down the street and someone all of a sudden steals my wallet, for example, they slip it out of my pocket, I know they did it, I can't catch them. A week later, I see them on the street. That does not then give me the right to beat the shit out of them. As much as I would want to, you do not have the right to do that.
let me pull a TJ and play some devil's advocate here, though, because we talk about how trans surgeries for under 18 are not good because the kids don't have a full conscious of their mind. Like, you're talking about 14 and 13-year-olds. So yeah, just because they're doing an act of stealing a car means now that they're in the right state of mind and they deserve to be chased down and killed.
Right, yeah. We'll say that children aren't in the right state of mind to make life-changing decisions, but then Concrete Hades will say that the 13-year-old should have died for making a life-changing decision. Like, good point, Joey. These are children. They don't exactly know the repercussions of what they're doing.
Now, listen, Concrete Hades, you say you absolutely have the right to beat his ass and get your property. That's very different than shooting him in the head.
Yeah, if look, let's add a caveat to that, right? Let's say the guy stole my wallet. Week later, I see him. He's actively has my wallet in his hands. I can go and take it from him. I can do that because he actively has my property. But if he stole my wallet, I see him on the street randomly. I don't know if he has my wallet or whatever. You just call the cops. You don't get to go over and beat the shit out of him because when the cops show up and you tell them, "Oh, he stole my wallet a week ago," they're not going to give a fuck.
Well, I also. This is why I like I don't remember who brought it up, but the idea of like private security over cops, because private security will just try to make sure conflicts don't happen as opposed to enforcing a law.
Yeah.
Because in my experience in New York City, and it's unacceptable, my high school was connected to a park, and we were literally down the block from a police precinct. I mean, like the park was on 2nd Avenue, and the police precinct was on Lexington Avenue, which is 2 avenue blocks up. So it's basically like a 3-minute walk. And a big fight broke out once in the park. And you know how long it took the cops to get there?
3 hours.
45 minutes.
Oh.
It took them 45 minutes to just come down the goddamn block.
Yeah, I've had family members getting chased from crazy people that they were getting in fights with, and the cops, they're like on the phone with the cops, and the cops are like, "Oh, just drive to the station. We can't get to you right now." And it's like, are you serious? You're telling me to drive to the station?
But killing it, since what you're saying is this is different though, because us on the right or pro freedom people, we point out constantly how we need to have ID checks online because pornography is bad especially for under 18s. We can't allow them to see adult content. They're not allowed to make life-changing decisions, but because probably young hooligans, overstepped their bounds and decided to steal a car, now we can treat them like adults. So there are certain behaviors where apparently they have full inhibition of their mind. Okay, stealing a car, we're still talking about under 18, and we're talking about under 16 too, where
hang
16
on.
in some states would be tried as an adult.
We're also talking about the fact that they didn't get the car. They tried
Yes.
to get the car. They didn't have possession of the car. They weren't in the car. They were actively trying to get in the car. He scared them off. They ran away. He gave chase. At that point, he's in the wrong. I'm sorry.
Right.
What I said was what he could have done if he wanted to follow them. That's fine. Follow them, get their license plate, follow them to their house, whatever. Call 911 and follow them. Why are you opening fire? Like, and I get what you're saying. Like, oh, they stole from me. That's money. That's taking my life. The government steals from you every day. That doesn't mean you can go and kill people in the government. If that's the point. If someone's not actively hurting you, you don't have a right to go and hurt them. That's not how this works.
I'm glad you said that, Concrete Hades. You guys keep ignoring the next victim down the line. Okay, so now we're doing Minority Report here. We're doing predictive crime. We're trying to predict when crimes happen, because the fact that they were thwarted and potentially going to get into a conflict where they could get shot, like that might be enough for them to second guess it now. But you're trying to predict the crime. I don't like that. I don't like when we're trying to predict the crime. That's how you turn into a police state.
Hades, I see you want to come up right now. I do want to move on to the next story. Hades, DM me and we'll see about working out a show on Friday. You can come on and argue with me.
If he's not working,
we'll figure out a day. I'll make a time. You can come on and argue with me. We'll bring it back up.
And listen, I am very flexible when it comes to self-defense, because a lot of the times you don't have that moment to make that decision. But if they had no weapons and they already failed and were running away, you can't give chase like that.
You know what's funny, Joey, is how many people have I angered with my hard stance on self-defense?
Yeah, like you're like, I'm not going to fight you because I don't know what could happen. I'm just going to shoot you.
I've repeatedly said that. I've repeatedly said that I will not fight. If someone is fighting me, I'm going to take it as you're trying to kill me, because I will never enter a fight. So if someone's fighting me, I'm going to assume that they're trying to kill me, and I will end the fight however I need to. That's my
Tyler,
stance.
You have to watch Minority Report with the girlfriend this weekend. You have to watch it.
I have to.
You have to, because you're gonna watch it and you're gonna understand.
I think my brother's coming over for his birthday this weekend.
You're gonna understand what I'm saying about you're trying to. It's like some sort of like they're able to like kind of travel through time because they're trying to predict bad behavior before it happens.
Monster
and
said
it's like that's.
No, I know what Minority Report is, but Monster again, he said needs to be a better shot. You're defending a guy that was shooting a firearm while driving after two teenagers. Like, just to put it into context, you're saying that he needs to be a better shot while firing a handgun while driving, chasing two teenage. Like, it just I don't get how I'm the crazy one in this.
You could, if you want to bring them up, you got 15 minutes or even more.
I mean, so many stories I wanted to talk about. You and I talk too much.
I know. We make too many good points.
I know. That's the issue. And now I have a bunch of stories for tomorrow, I guess. But it's like, fuck.
Well, you know how the Trump administration works. They drop news on Friday like everybody else.
All right. Well, okay. We're going to move on. Because as it says, all I wanted to point out here was that it said that during the trial, Schur claimed the two potential carjackers had shot first. Investigators found that was not true. There was never any evidence of any weapons on the children. And all 11 shell casings that were fired by Schur. So
killing it since they did not steal the car. They failed.
They didn't steal the car. If you guys want to make the argument that he's allowed to shoot at them because they actively have his car, they have his property, that's a different discussion. What we're talking about this in specific, the specific situation. If you want to bring up another story in which someone actually stole the car and then got shot, we could talk about that. What we're talking about is two teenagers that didn't successfully steal a car, fled in a separate vehicle, and were chased by the person they tried to rob from. No, they didn't. Hades. No, they didn't. I have to correct you again there, Hades. They stole the car. You don't have to get away for it to be stealing. They didn't steal the car. They didn't even get in the car.
They attempted to steal the car.
They attempted to steal the car. So again,
they were not
you
successful.
don't have the right. You don't have the right to open fire on someone once they've left Once they're no longer an active threat to you. I don't have to keep repeating it. And he shot them in the back. That too. They weren't targeting him. They weren't trying to fight him. He shot them in the back. There's so many different things in this case. What else is in the news? Yeah, let's move on. Anyway, let's see. I wanted to bring up this story from Mickey D's. McDonald's plans to slash their combo meal prices despite clashing with franchises over surging cost. So I just thought this was a little bit of an interesting story because McDonald's is slashing its combo meal prices despite weeks of tussling with restaurant operators who pleaded that rising costs have made it difficult to sustain deals already on the menu. The U.S. franchisee have agreed to keep the cost of 8 popular combos 15% below the sum of the individual items' prices, according to the internal materials viewed by the Wall Street Journal. So basically, a combo meal that would be $10 is currently going for $8.50 instead. Is basically what they're subsidizing some of these restaurants that aren't getting as much traffic, and they're subsidizing them to basically keep traffic up because what they realized is if they have cheaper meals that they get more income. So they basically it says it right here. The agreement followed weeks of pressure from McDonald's, which eventually offered to subsidize possible losses for operators, but only after accounting for increased traffic the deals might drive to stores, sources involved in the talks said. The world's largest fast food chain is on a mission to restore its affordable image following persistent complaints from customers that its menu have grown to be too expensive, with a Big Mac, fries, and drink costing $18 in some places. Yeah, that's because in California, they have to pay their workers $25 an hour. So
same in New York.
Yeah,
I don't know if New York's $25 an hour, but like I've been sitting here wondering myself why McDonald's costs so much. And I'm like, well, most of their food is fake, so it can't be because of that. And then like when the gas prices are down, so why does it cost so much? It's like this, we've been telling people.
Or like, what about Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A has more fresh ingredients, and you go to a Chick-fil-A and they have like double, triple the fucking workers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they have like 5 people just in the drive-through line helping with orders. Like, so how is it that Chick-fil-A can successfully have like fresh chicken and all these employees, but McDonald's struggles to get a Big Mac for less than $18? Like
in defense of McDonald's, there's a lot more McDonald's than there are Chick-fil-A's.
Sure. And if they're subsidizing some of these lower earning McDonald's, I'm sure that would eat at profits a lot. But if you're employing less people, like I don't know. How does this? I just don't understand how it gets to be this point. I think a lot of it is that these fast food companies are seeing the rising rates between the companies, and they're like, oh well, they're raising their prices, we can bump ours a little bit, and then everyone else is seeing each other bump their prices up a little bit, and they're like, oh, we could bump ours up a little bit too.
Yeah, once these places bump their prices up, it's very rare that they bump them down.
Right. Yeah, that's
so big business, like everything else, will just look for that excuse. Oh, we had to raise the prices, and then they like slash after workers and replace them with those kiosk machines, whatever the hell they're called. Kiosk, is that how they say it? K-I-S-O-K. Kiosk. I don't know. Those stupid ass. Anyway, it was funny. I was in McDonald's with Karen, and she's like, "You don't use the machines?" I'm like, "No."
No. You're like, I'd rather talk to a human.
Yeah, what if there's a cute girl behind the counter? It's very rare, but what if
but yeah, so it says at most US locations, McDonald's combo meals are priced below the sum of the item's individual cost, but the size of that discount varies. Franchises usually set the prices. I'm not exactly sure what they mean by that. Do they mean like if I were to just get a Big Mac separate, not the combo, that it's actually more expensive? Because I've noticed that, for example, like places like Jack in the Box, they'll have the ultimate cheeseburger combo. It'll be like $15, but then you can get their munchie meal whatever combo, which is the same thing but also comes with 2 tacos, and that's $12. So it's more food, same thing, same everything, but it's $3 cheaper. I've never understood things like that. Yeah, and I get it's to drive sales, but it's so weird.
What they're hoping for when you get like combo meals is that they're hoping that I think they're hoping that you'll get something else too, or you'll be more inclined to come back another time. Like I notice whenever like sometimes I'll randomly get like these deals from Seamless. They're like buy a 20-piece nugget and get a free large fry. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like that, they're just hoping that you keep coming back to the app and that you'll just, you'll pay for the fee, the delivery fee and all that good stuff. They're trying to nickel and dime you in other ways to make it give the appearance of you're getting a deal.
You're absolutely right. And Joey, I want to send you off with this last story because I know you're about to go to your show. Israel to respond by Friday over Gaza truce plan accepted by Hamas. So it looks like Hamas is actually accepting a truce plan. But what's funny is that we have this story being reported by The Guardian. At the same time, I found 5 other stories talking about how Israel is amassing troops for the final push on Gaza City.
Yeah, they're gonna take it.
So they're like, oh yeah, we'll respond by Friday, and the response is gonna be, hey, we're entering the city.
Yep,
that's gonna be the response. So, yeah, look forward to that update, guys. And do you know what you're talking about on your show today, Joey? We'll send you off. I'll pull up another story to send everyone away with.
Honestly, I was considering. So Nora might have to leave early because she has to run errands. So I was just considering if Hades wants to just talk about his position right now, because why the hell not?
Yeah, Hades, if you want to go on Joey's show, you can go talk about that over there. While we wait for him to respond, we'll get your thoughts on this. Joey, I have an article from CNN. Article from CNN. Maine police officer arrested by ICE, then agrees to voluntarily leave the country. I just thought it was interesting. So this officer from Maine was arrested by immigration authorities, and he has agreed to voluntarily leave the country. ICE arrested Old Orchard Beach Police Department Reserve Officer John Luke Evans of Jamaica on July 25th as a part of the agency's effort to step up immigration enforcement. Officers with the town and police department have said federal authorities previously told them Evans was legally authorized to work in the U.S. However, an ICE representative reached by telephone told the Associated Press on Monday that a judge had granted voluntary departure for Evans, that he could leave as soon as that day. The representative did not provide details about Evans' case. So it seems like this guy was actually granted voluntary departure. So it seems like this guy was allowed to work here, but got picked up by ICE and just agreed to leave.
He's like, I don't even want to fight me.
Well, I guess it makes sense because the deal the deal has been if you leave voluntarily, you're allowed to come back. So maybe that's what he was thinking. He's like, I love this country.
That could be
you guys don't want me here. I'll come back. I'll come back. I'll leave voluntarily. I'll come back.
He's like, you know what, man? I am a man of the law. This makes sense. I will leave and come back.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a really interesting story. It says, yeah, he plans on leaving voluntarily. The town reiterates its ongoing commitment to meeting all the state and federal laws regarding employment. We will continue to rely on the I-9 employment eligibility verification form and the E-Verify database to confirm employment eligibility. ICE's detainee lookup website said Monday that Evans was being held at the Donald W. Wyatt Detention Facility in Central Falls, Rhode Island. However, a representative for Wyatt said Evans had been transferred to an ICE facility in Burlington, Massachusetts. Let's see. It was unclear if he was represented by an attorney. ICE officials said in July that Evans overstayed his visa and so he overstayed a visa. He unlawfully attempted to purchase a firearm. Yikes. Agreed to voluntarily depart means he will be allowed to leave the U.S. at his own expense to avoid being deported. So yeah, he overstayed a visa. He also tried to purchase a firearm when not being a citizen and not having a visa. ICE picked him up, and he agreed to leave. So,
well,
I mean,
at least he wasn't confrontational about it.
Yeah, I wish he didn't overstay his visa, but overall, good story, I thought. I mean, cool. Good. This is one of the people, he leaves voluntarily. He was trying to be a police officer. These are one of the people that as long as there's nothing else on his record, I'd be fine with him coming back eventually, someday, maybe in like 5-10 years after we settle things.
I'd like to know how he was able to become a police officer.
Yeah, how did we get this far?
we got to ask Bush since he lives in Maine,
right? So the system works, is what Dirt Diver said. Sometimes it does.
It works sometimes, not as much as it should work, but sometimes.
Concrete Hades says to keep an eye on Canada. Interesting.
Well, somebody else had mentioned that Western Canada is going through some sort of thingamajigger. Like they're like having like a 1776. I'll believe it when I see it, bro.
Yeah. Well, Joey, why don't you go get your show started, and I'll wrap things up here, because it seems like everyone just wants to keep talking about the conversation you and I are having. So they're still on it, even though we're like 4 stories past it.
We're more than welcome to keep arguing about it on my show. 'Cause I'm gonna brainstorm for a little bit, because, like I said, nobody's better at curating news than Tyler. So, like,
I'll send you the
think
article.
Tyler does the news, and I should just do the philosophy behind everything. Philosophy.
Philosophy. Joey, I'm going to send you the article, so that way if you want to rehash that and argue with people, that could be your show today. Everyone, you're going to go check out Joey here in just a minute. He's leaving right now. And then let me switch back over to my desk. We've had a great show today, guys. There was that I thought I was going to be able to get through a lot more news, but I should have figured that once Joey messaged me that he was going to be joining, that I was not going to get through all of the news. But that's fine. That's fine. I'm fine with that. We'll talk about all of this stuff tomorrow, I guess. Some of the news that I wanted to talk about was more Israel stuff. Israel called up 60,000 reservists for their looming invasion of Gaza City. I was going to talk about the Boston mayor telling Bondi that they need to stop attacking sanctuary cities. I'll talk about Chicago residents calling the Obama Presidential Center a monstrosity. I'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about the parental rights concerns in California. That's still talking about the Bill 495. There's also a lot of there's the U.S. targeting steel, copper, lithium imports under the Uyghur forced labor law. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about Taiwan tomorrow. We'll talk more about let's see. I still need to get to this. There's a training video for therapists that instructs mental health professionals to view Trump supporters as cult members. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. We'll bring up this video from an outraged passenger that attacked Southwest Airlines gate agent. We'll talk about that tomorrow. DOJ says voting machine maker funneled LA County money into slush funds used to pay bribes. We also have some really weird words being added to the Cambridge Dictionary. I'm just gonna tease you guys on that one. Some real hip words from my generation just got added to the dictionary. You guys will have to tune in tomorrow to hear more about that. Man, I really wanted to get to this story. Let me send this story to Joey. Maybe he'll cover it. I don't even want to tease it for you guys. All I'll say is that it involves a judge being killed by a sheriff and some crazy stuff going on at a courthouse. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll make that one of my major stories tomorrow. Let's see. We'll talk about this father from New Zealand who's been hiding in the wilderness for the past 4 years. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And I have this video from Matt Stork that he sent me. We also have a story from Texas Democrats that are now suing Republicans after being locked in the Capitol building in Texas. That's what they're alleging. Last story I'll bring up, though, that we'll go into a little bit more in depth. I'll go deeper on this tomorrow. But breaking, Trump says that France, Germany, UK may provide boots on the ground to ensure Ukraine peace, and they have rolled out U.S. troops. So basically, we might be sending in NATO troops. We might be sending in NATO troops to Ukraine and Russia, and allegedly it's to help broker peace between them. I don't buy it, but we'll see how this plays out. All of this stuff's been absolutely insane. Anyway, that's the news for you guys today. I had great conversations with you guys today. I'm glad we could get through that show. I think Joey and I had some great conversations today. And, you know, that's what happens. That's what happens when Joey comes on. I like having Joey on every now and again. I like to have a news-oriented show where we just sit here, hang out, talk about the news and stuff like that. But, you know, when you have Joey on, you're always going to get more of a philosophical conversation. He likes to go deep on these topics, which is super fun. The only unfortunate thing to that effect is that I didn't get through all the news that I wanted to get through. But the bonus to that is that I get to save all of that news for tomorrow for you guys. So there is some bonus in that. But what do I have for you guys? Well, lastly, I have for you guys, I've got to give this to you guys. Lastly, I got to send you guys off with a 1775 ad. That's what I got to do for you guys. You guys still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Well, now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for the clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who have been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. There you go, guys. Go get your 1775 coffee if you have not already. And with that, I got to say, guys, great show. Great show today. Thank you guys for hanging out. Let me double check the goals. Did we hit the goals today? Oh, man, I forgot to change the like goal. I changed it to 30 from the other day. Let me give this to you guys because you guys earned it. Here we go. Here we go. Where is it at? Bada bing, bada boom. Hey, there we go. There we go. All right. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to send you off to Joey Canoli's show. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will be back here tomorrow to report on all the things that I didn't get to today. Later, guys. Have fun with Joey Canoli. Later. And here's the outro music. Bye-bye.
Static comes in my ears, shit feels blurry. Headlines scream like wolves in a flurry. Who's the liar? Who's the thief? Who's the saint in disguise? Tell me, Tyler, are you dodging the knives? Left, right, both wrong. Truth's been gone too long. Tyler today, cut through the haze. Truth ain't a weapon, it's a light, it's a blaze. Tyler today, won't let it decay. Dodging the shadows, truth finds its way. Ink drips, red facts bleed on a paper. Voices crack, truths lost in the vapor.